What made you not want to have kids? Raised my siblings. I'm done. Ugh. Teaching them to read, acting as a lifeguard anytime we were around water, trying to patch their wounds or reassure them school isn't so scary. My brother is dyslexic and my sister has a learning disability. I taught them both to write their names and would always help them with homework before working on my own. I don't recall my parents being anywhere nearby in 95% of my childhood memories. I love kids, but the stress of raising kids as a kid has deterred me from ever even considering that sort of responsibility again. Kids. I have kids and I can't stand other kids. I also accept people can't stand mine. I swear, some of the Facebook pictures of my friends who have kids, it's like you can see the children slowly sucking the life force from their parents over time. Kids are motivated by the basest human desires. I am quite fond of sleep, flexibility and money. And spontaneity. And lower stress, and no legal responsibility for another person's entire well-being for 18 years. Yay, I'm not responsible enough to manage diabetes, let alone a whole-ass person. My wife is bipolar and I have recurring depressions. We figured adding kids to the mix wouldn't be fair to anyone. Edit, I'm keeping the hyphen, since I firmly believe my wife has the ability to be on both the North and the South Pole. Not at the same time, obviously. Even medicated and in therapy, I can get mean when I'm in a mood. My mom is the same way. Some people shouldn't be parents and I think it's great that folks are realizing this instead of popping them out and winging it, like most of our parents did. I had a child born with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I felt incredibly guilty for bringing such a lovely child into this world with so much difficulty he faced. After he passed away, I never wanted to bring another child into this cruel world. My brother's got Duchenne and autism simultaneously. The autism is a blessing in disguise, as I don't think he spends much time depressed about his muscle condition. It's still tough. Holy shit, sometimes I forget how blessed I am with my boring life. My parents. They weren't good examples to learn from. My father had a terrible childhood because of abusive parents, and he still suffers because of that today. However, he didn't pass it on to me. He has been such a great father to me despite everything his parents put him through. Not saying that you should have kids, just want you to know that your parents do not define you and that you are not them. Just never felt that maternal urge. And it's cruel/wrong to have them unless you actually want them. To be honest, this is validating because everyone I know has baby fever and all that, and I just don't get it. People always told me I'd change my mind, so I always waited to feel it. I never did, and I feel like it was such a disservice to me to be told that. I'm 40 now. To be honest, I'm too lazy to be a parent. Plus I'm terrified of the idea of pregnancy and labor. Same, this coochie is a one-way street. Edit, proud that my most updated post is about my coochie. Seeing them in the wild. In high school, we had to do mandatory volunteer work our last quarter in senior year in order to graduate. I did mine at a Head Start in my city. I was helping in the preschool one day when a kid named Shane rubbed peanut butter on my black suede Pumas, spat in my face, and ran away. Thankfully one of the teachers saw it happen, and saw my reaction, so she took him out of the room before I fucking murdered him. If I can't afford a house, what makes you think I can afford a child? The economy is a dumpster fire. Thank you for being honest. Kids are fucking expensive and really it shouldn't come down to economics, but in this day and age it does. Edit, wow, over 1,000 upvotes. Thanks all. I probably sounded aggressive a little, but however much some want children these days, you have to put the money into the equation, and trust me, however much personally you might want a child, the literal cost can cause a lot of pain, anxiety, and breakups, and nobody wants that, especially for the child. The thought of just being pregnant is terrifying. Also, you have to dedicate your entire life to them. Yes. Seeing what pregnancy does to your body is absolutely fucking terrifying. Childbirth scares me so much. The pain. The tearing. The shuffling of organs. The postpartum symptoms. Just sounds like hell to me. The economy and financial instability. Same reason for me. Also the possibility of my vagina tearing into my asshole and creating one giant vagus hole. Edit, according to responses, it can be stapled/stitched back together, but the anal sphincter doesn't feel the same. What a terrible day to be literate. I'm broke and I hate noise. This simple response really sums it up. Giving birth. This. I wouldn't be opposed to being a mom, but I 100% don't want to give birth. I also don't want to hear about anyone's childbirth experience. I'm in no way going to be excited to hear about the pain, mess, chaos that you went through in delivery room just because I have a vagina. My family ask me and my wife about this all the time. The best way I've found to explain it is to ask them why they don't own horses. They are impractical, expensive, require constant attention, I'd probably have to relocate, why would I want one in the first place, etc. The exact same arguments apply. Lol, as someone with horses but zero desire to have kids, I have to say, I totally agree. But even horses are 10,000 times less demanding of attention than kids. I could leave my horses unattended for days at a time and they'd probably be thrilled. Try that with a child under 16 and it's apparently frowned upon. Can barely look after myself, let alone another person. Don't want to pass my mental health issues. The world needs less people, not more. I would make a shitty parent. People always ask me, what if I change my mind about not wanting kids? It's strange to me that they don't often consider the implications of them changing their minds about having one. Consider that the success rate of reversing a vasectomy is between 80 to 90%. The success rate of legally reversing having a kid sits closer to 0%. People ask me that, too. They have no idea how resolute I am. And you can adopt if you change your mind. Or get a puppy. I hate interruptions, inconveniences, and misunderstandings with a passion. I don't think I could answer a child's endless questions or feign excitement over their creations/actions without sarcasm. I can't get pregnant and know I'm not ready to be a parent yet. Can't be a good influence for a young one if I'm still occasionally fucking up with drugs, self-harming, and not doing well. That stuff emotionally transfers to the kid and isn't conducive to a healthy environment for growth. You're very responsible not having kids until you work through those things. Too risky. Nothing is guaranteed that you'll have a healthy baby. The child could be severely disabled and you'll have to be their caretaker for life. They could have mental health issues. They could be a weeb living in your basement forever. They could be completely soulless and evil. I'm not prepared to handle that. Also, sleep is good. It's so refreshing to see another person who thinks this. I always feel like a shitty person for not wanting a kid with disabilities. I applaud the parents who do and who love their children unconditionally, but I truly don't think I could. I'd rather not risk it. I'd rather regret not having a kid than regret having one. I have no desire. I like sleep. I like money. I like having a clean house at all times. I like my body. I like my freedom. Was raised in a religion that told me the only purpose in life was to raise a family. Then I was abused by a church leader and decided I don't want any potential kids that would have to deal with me and all of my baggage despite therapy and medications improving my life the past year or so. I heard a Bill Burr, nope, it was Neil Brennan, bit recently talking about climate change and kids. Loosely paraphrased. Imagine you're at a high school party, trapped in the living room, packed in like sardines. You can't move at all. The roof is on fire, there's water flooding into the basement, and the cops are on the way to arrest everyone. You turn your head to look at your friend, and say we should invite Kevin. I'm a 28-year-old female, not convinced I want kids. Lack of freedom, especially to travel, constantly worrying about someone else/being responsible for them, the state of the world, my own mental health stuff that can be genetic, knowing pregnancy is incredibly dangerous, having 4 friends very recently have their first children and seeing them miserable, the idea of forever being a mom. It's all overwhelming. Plus I see kids every day with behavioral and mental health problems. I kinda just don't want to risk that being my kid. The pregnancy experience alone is a no. FYI, just being pregnant is painful. Not even second term, but the first weeks of pregnancy it hurts to just be pregnant. 9 months of that, and then the real work begins? No, thank you. Besides kids themselves, parents. I don't think I've ever seen a non-miserable parent when the kid is under 10. I scrolled down way too far for this. I work with kids, I love kids. I have yet to hear a friend say having their kid was worth it. Near constant complaining, even from friends who are generally easygoing. A lot of things. I like how my body looks and I don't want to change that. I can't take care of myself properly. I don't think I can take care of a child. Don't like kids in general. Except for my nieces and nephews. Growing up I felt as if I don't want to exist. Don't want to raise a child and fuck up. Because I don't want the kid to grow up thinking the same. I worked in customer service jobs for a long time, and kids aren't the problem as much as parents. That said, my family has couples with and without kids, and the ones without seem a lot happier with their situations. Nothing. Just never felt the need, even when people matter-of-factly said when you have kids, it was always just a no thanks. Feeling reinforced by seeing children and parents, and the cost of it all, but just never a consideration for me. I'm sure I will be downvoted for this, but honestly I was afraid of having a child with autism or health issues of some sort. I just don't think I'm strong enough to deal with those scenarios. I don't think you should be downvoted for reality. More people need to consider that the picturesque idea of having a perfect child may not be the case, and what happens if that is the case. Caring for a special needs child is a lifetime long job and then some. Because I know families who are worried sick about what happens if they pass away before their kid. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for daily uploads. After you've done that, check out one of our other videos.